Hello, I'm Lynda, City Manager of Rowlett, and with me today is Lieutenant Leroy Brantley, Commander of the Traffic Division. And we're here to tell you about an opportunity that is coming to the City of Rowlett June 21st through June 29th. And when I say opportunity, folks, I appreciate that I'm probably stretching that's really going to be happening. But Rowlett Road is going to be closed at the railroad crossing for DART construction. And it will be an opportunity in the sense that we're going to have to figure out different ways to move north and south on Rowlett Road. So Lieutenant Brantley and I wanted to visit with you today to tell you about this particular project and some things that we could suggest to you that might make this process a little easier. Leroy, I do think it's important for us to tell the folks that this has been planned for months in advance. There's been a lot of coordination with North Texas Tollway Authority in coordination with the opening of the service roads on PGBT, and they have an hour-by-hour schedule, and you meet with them on a weekly basis, and I know you've been working very hard to make sure that to the extent we can advocate for our customers that that has happened.
Yes, they've put a lot of hours in it, planning and coordination, and we've talked back and forth, not just during our meetings, but through multiple impromptu meetings during the week and phone calls, trying to foresee or project everything that could possibly go wrong with it. There's been a substantial effort to try to overcome in what's going to hang our traffic up, to keep our traffic moving.
And I think that's important for our folks at home to appreciate that in a construction project of this magnitude, even with all of the planning that will be going on, it won't be a pleasant experience. And I've been talking about this for weeks now, and I've been telling folks to put a star by the calendar, June 21st through 29th. If you use Rowlett Road to go through Rowlett or to run your errands, please seek an alternate route. So Leroy, let's talk about this just a moment. If I live in the southwest part of the community, and Rowlett Road is a main thoroughfare for how I come and go in and out of the city, and I typically leave in the mornings going northbound on Rowlett Road, what would be an alternate route?
The alternate route from that portion of town would be north on Rowlett Road to Miller Road and turn left, go west on Miller Road to Centerville, and then turn right on Centerville and head north either up to 66 to go into Garland or on up to Firewheel Parkway towards Plano, Richardson area on the 190.
So to underscore that and reemphasize that, if you use Rowlett Road to get to PGBT for a commute in the morning, the best way would be to go to Rowlett Road and go west, take a left, connect with Centerville and go north, and you can intersect back up with Rowlett Road at that way.
That combination of roads will most accommodate that much volume of traffic if that's what their commute is. And
I think that's an important point, Leroy, for us to share with folks. Why are we making you go all the way to Centerville?
Strictly for the type of roadway is there. Miller is a 2-lane, Centerville is a 3-lane, up to Firewheel Parkway. More volume of cars can flow through there more efficiently than if we try to put them on any other road within the city to try to move them around the construction detour. It's going to be more congested. It's it's easier to move that much more volume when you have additional lanes.
Okay, so the key here is we're replacing light capacity roadways of Rowlett Road with a light capacity roadway in Centerville. So if I'm coming from the north, say up around the Castle area, right as I enter into town, there is an alternate route if I'm progressing south into the community in the afternoon, returning home. Talk to me a little bit about what my options are there.
You have an optional route there if you're coming south into the city, especially if you're heading like a lot of commuters do, and they head into Rockwall using State Highway 66, or they're passing through to Dow Rock to get onto 30, their alternate route would be to make a left-hand turn on the Castle, go over to Merritt Road, which is a four-way stop. It is a right-hand turn there, go south on Merritt Road until they come to the southbound service road of 190, which is again a right-hand turn and a stop sign, which will minimize their time at traffic signals till they get down to 66. And if they're going into Rockwall, once they reach 66, they can make a left-hand turn and they're within 100 yards of being completely out of the construction once they make that left-hand turn on the 66. If they're going, traversing on to the southeast portion of the city or on over to Dow Rock to get out to I-30, they can cross over 66 on the southbound frontage road and go down to Miller and make a left. If they're going through to Garland on the southbound side, the construction company there has arranged for us to have a free right-hand turn at the southbound service road at Miller, so the people could come down southbound service road, have a free right turn basically on Miller, which opens up into 2 lanes, would take them back to Rowlett Road, and they could traverse south off of Rowlett Road through there.
Okay, so for those folks at home, you have an option leaving town in the morning to go north. If you live south of Miller Road, to take Miller Road into Garland and go north on Centerville. You are welcome to come back that way in the afternoon, or you can use what Lieutenant Brantley suggested by taking Castle to Merritt and then coming back down the service road. So there's several options. For those folks that have business in the downtown area, let's talk just a moment about what their options are. So if I want to access City Hall, the library, or Big Star, how would I do that during this construction?
If you're coming from the southern portions of the city, Rowlett Road from Miller up to Main Street is going to remain open for local traffic and residential traffic only up there. And they can come up to Main Street like they normally would and make their right-hand turn to get downtown into City Hall, the planning, or any of the businesses down in there in church on Sunday. And then they can retrace their route same way out. We'll have 1 lane open northbound and 1 lane open southbound up to Main Street for all the local residents and the businesses that are within that area right around the construction closure.
So it's important to re-emphasize that Rowlett Road north of Miller Road will be open for local traffic only. So if you live in that area or you patron a local business in that area, you will be able to access that just the same as you do. If you're coming west from 66, you'll be able to also take Main Street from 66 and come under the Dart rail trestle there and come into downtown that same way. So Leroy, let's talk about if I want to go to the post office, or I want to go to the dance studio, or Aldi's, or Rowlett Office Supply, and I'm coming from the north across 66, moving south on Rowlett Road. What will I be given an option there?
If your residence is on the west side of Rowlett, I would come down Rowlett Road to past 66 and enter south. If I'm coming from the far west side, from the Dexham area, I would go 66 down to Rowlett Road. Again, north of the construction closure is going to be open 1 lane, both directions, north and south, for people to get into the businesses, and there's not many residences in here, it's mostly business. That would be the access from the north side. If you're coming from the south side, that's when you would need to come up Rowlett Road to Main Street and utilize Main Street to 66 and make that right-hand turn and go back to Rowlett Road.
Okay. All right. So there are alternate routes if you are what I'm going to call pass-through traffic. You use Rowlett Road to go from one end of Rowlett to the other. We're going to suggest that you take alternate routes of, if you're coming from the south, you would go to Miller, go Miller west to Centerville, and go north either to 66 or back to Rowlett Road at that point. If you are coming south from the north, an alternate route is to take Centerville, just like we just discussed, or to turn left and go north on Castle to Merritt, take a right, and then access the southbound service road of PGBT. Those are the two alternate routes that you're seeing on the map that will allow you to pass through the community and bypass this Rowlett Road closure. For those of you that do business in Rowlett and patron our local businesses, allowances have been made for you to do that. Rowlett Road north of Miller and Rowlett Road south of 66 on both sides of the railroad will be open to local traffic. There'll be reduced lanes, so you will be able to access your favorite businesses, City Hall, your church, but again, that is not the way for the majority of the pass-through traffic to go. There's just not going to be the ability for the small one-lane, two-lane roads to handle that. So please think about your particular route. So let's talk about some tips, Leroy, that our citizens need to think about as they think about an alternate route for June 21st through June 29th. One of the things that comes to mind is driving courteously.
Yes. During this time while the Rowlett Road is closed, driving courteously, driving defensively is going to be of the utmost importance to get you through the city as safely and as quickly as possible. A lot of people will wait to the last minute, as an example, to merge when they know that a merge is coming up and it's moving from 2 lanes down to 1 lane. I would urge you that when you know that the road is merging down to 1 lane, do it early, do it safely at a reasonable speed. It's going to keep everybody's patience down. Frustration down, keep your patience up. And when you look at the person in front of you or behind you or beside you, realize that everybody's kind of sort of in the same boat together. And it pays to be just as neighborly when you're traveling the streets during this time as it is when you're in your own neighborhood, you know, and watching out for each other's houses and their kids and their dogs. It's a difficult time for everybody, and the more patience we have and the more defensively we drive, the safer and faster we're going to get through it.
I think those are very good tips. And so just to reiterate, drive courteous, merge when the signs tell you. Please let those that are beside you merging, again, drive courteous. You may need to merge too, and pack your patience. We appreciate that this is going to be a really indescribable construction event. We have done a lot of planning. It's not our project, but yet we've worked with DART to minimize all of the issues that potentially would come up, but even with good planning, you cannot plan away the inconvenience. And with that thought, Leroy, talk a little bit about the fact that in analyzing the hour-by-hour schedule, looking at the peak times when we know we've got traffic conditions, what allowances has the police department made to assist our motorists to try to make this situation a little better?
Through their planning and coordination and us talking back and forth with them, we looked at their hour-by-hour schedule and what they were going to be accomplishing, and we looked at it and tried to analyze how it was going to impact that quadrant of the city as far as what intersections are going to be impacted the most, where can we do to make the traffic movement more efficient and keep it flowing where it's going to be the most confusing for people on the first day that they see it. We want to have somebody there, so we looked at the intersections that are going to be the most impacted, which is Miller Road and the southbound service road, Miller Road and, Main Street and the southbound service road, obviously Main Street and Rowlett Road and Melser, and Rowlett and Miller, and we're going to bring extra officers on to be out there and to monitor the traffic, keep it moving through the intersections. It's going to be different for some new people, like the northbound Rowlett Road is going to have a double left-hand turn lane through this, so we can move that traffic that's coming northbound through there, and we want to have an officer there so they know that they can do that.
So at Miller, the northbound Rowlett Road will have a double turn lane for the traffic going west on Miller, and there will be officers there to assist.
Yes.
And I think the thing that we want to leave with the public is that even with all of the planning that has occurred, situations will pop up that we couldn't plan for, but there will be additional police personnel, and Lieutenant Brantley and his team will make allowances as things come up, and we'll do the very best we can to assist you in this very difficult time. So in summary, let's recap that June 21st through June 29th, Rowlett Road will be closed north of Main Street, south of 66 at the railroad for DART light rail construction. There are alternate routes. We'll cover them very quickly. If you're traversing or passing through the city on Rowlett Road and you come from the south, south of Miller, we're going to ask you to go west on Miller to Centerville Road and proceed north either to State Highway 66 or to Rowlett Road. You can leave the community that way. You can come back through the community that way. If you're coming from the north, just as you enter the city limits, you can turn left and go north on Castle to Merritt. Turn right on Merritt to the state or PGBT service roads, and then come south to 66, Main Street, Miller Road on the service roads. If you do business in town with our local merchants, there will be for local traffic only between Miller and Main Street. If you're south of the railroad crossings, there will be local traffic only north of the railroad crossings, south of 66. Please drive courteous. Please be patient. Please merge when you get signage. And folks, think about your routes before June 21st. I'm going to ask you to think about a different way to go while you're driving that, and leave early. If it takes you 5 minutes, I can assure you during this road construction it'll take you a lot longer than 5 minutes, even with the best of planning. So again, we appreciate your patience. We appreciate the level of inconvenience, and we hope that you have found this information informative. You're always welcome to go to www.rowlett.com for additional information. And let me stress that there will be a lot of construction signage that will walk you through these routes and notify you of construction issues. So please tune in, read the signage. They will be changing as we move through this construction. So on behalf of Lieutenant Brantley, I'm Lynda, and thank you for your time.